Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Hi.
I hope you're all doing well and safe. Welcome to another event of Ladies at UX Milan. Today is our first event after our summer break, and we decided to keep our events on YouTube for now. I mean, doing live streams instead of meeting in person, but hopefully our live events will come back soon. So, first of all, the event today is going to be in a panel format. So, our guests will share with us a presentation about who they are, what they do, and then we will open to questions. So, please write doubts and comments in the chat so Angelica and Akanksha can answer them by the end of the meeting. We also want to remind you guys that this event is recorded and will be here if you miss it. So, in case you miss also the previous events, you can go on our YouTube channel. Everything is recorded there. So, also don't forget to subscribe and write on the comments below where you're watching us from. I'm in Milan right now. Where are you, Ilan?
Me too, actually, at my home.
Nice. So, before we start our presentation with our guests, we are going to talk about who we are. I don't know if it's the first time that you are here in our event, but never never too bad to remind. So we are Ladies that UX Milan. Sorry, I'm between two screens here, so I'm watching there. Um, This was our last event in person by the end of January. We had this amazing event with these amazing girls. That was a very nice time we had together. Hopefully, we're going to do this again very soon. So, Ladies at UX Milan, we're a friendly, welcoming, and collaborative community with a growing number of local groups based in cities worldwide. Now we are in more than 75 cities around the globe, and we were born in 2013. Here in Milan, our chapter will complete 1 year by the end of November. So, yay! We're going to do a very special event for you guys for our anniversary. And our goal is not just to network and talk about a popular topic. We understand that women need dedicated space to encourage, support, and promote each other. And so more and more women can be interested in working with UX and technology. This is very important to address because we want to have always open discussions about being a woman working in tech, working with UX, and this kind of sectors that they are mostly men. Also, I would like to say it again because it's nice to also remember that this community is not against any gender. It's not because we are ladies that UX that this event is only for ladies. But obviously, we decided to bring ladies to talk and giving them space, our stage for them to talk about what they want to talk, feeling about the community and also UX and technology. These are some of the cities that we're present, and here in Milan, we are the first one in Italy. So for you guys, if you haven't met me, I'm Mariano Zaki. I'm one of the chapter leaders here. I work as a service interaction designer, and currently I'm also MEA director of Ladies at UX.
Congrats to Mari for this goal. Hi everyone, I'm Ilaria. I'm Ilaria Farina. I'm a user experience designer, and I work as a user experience designer here in Milan. And with Mariana, I'm as well a chapter leader of this super and amazing chapter here in Milan, the first one in Italy. So welcome everyone, and we are very excited for this new event after the summer break.
Hopefully, yes. Before I forget, for accessibility, I would like to describe myself. As I said before, I'm Mariana. I'm an Asian Brazilian girl. I'm wearing a black dress with turtleneck. My hair is short. I'm using some earphones, and this on the background is a filter that looks like my room, but it's not.
And me also, sorry, I forgot. I'm wearing glasses, and I have brown hairs, mid brown hairs. I'm wearing a brown jumper, kind of brown jumper, and I'm here in Milan, in my home. And that's it. I'm not wearing the headphones.
And you're Italian.
And yes, I'm Italian. Sorry, my pronoun also it's her and she.
Yeah, my pronouns are she and her as well. Also, another thing, we're looking for volunteers, co-organizers to help us with our community. So if you're interested, let us know. I will send you guys I will show you guys the email address. It's after 2 months, like we have a lot of things to remind. Anyway, these are some of our social media channels. So please connect with us, especially on our Slack group that we have some girls there, and then we can exchange ideas, advices, also have ideas for new events. Also, if you guys are interested in speaking here, let us know. Write us on this email. Also, if you want to help us with the organization, as I said before, we're looking for volunteers. Okay. Thank you very much. Let me see. Let me remove. Do you want to say anything?
No. Sorry.
Okay. So about this, we would like to introduce to this panel. It's a very special panel for us. Obviously, all of our events are special, but because of I would like to share some numbers with you guys before we introduce our guests. Okay, so the theme of today, we're going to speak about women in business, and we have two special guests that are Angelica Peretti and Akanksha Gupta. And why is that? Because they are women, they are young, and they are creating a company by their own. A new global study. This is some of the research that I did. It's a research from last year, 2019. In a new global study, Singapore has tied with Italy for top spot in having the highest proportion of companies with women as chief executive officers, CEOs. So last year, Italy had 15% of firms that were headed by female CEOs. But this year, this percentage increased to 23%, which is the 20, no, I don't know how to say. 11th position worldwide, 12th position worldwide, which is a very significant number, and also had grown a lot since last year. So I think this is a very important data to say, because it was a study made across 56 countries and 30,000 executive positions. So in this panel, we want to talk and celebrate these women that are also part of this percentage, and which is basically like people say that it's a place that will be occupied by men. What is wrong? Also saying when we talk about marketing companies, also beer companies, which is in the case of Akanksha, that are products that people judge as manly. So today we would like to host Angelica, head of marketing, co-founder, CEO at Digitazon, a marketplace for digital services, and Akanksha Gupta, a service designer and architect and co-founder digital strategies at Ibrida, a beer startup. And we're going to talk. They will talk about their career path and their challenges, and also about entrepreneurship. So the agenda of today's event is going to be Angelica's presentation first, and then Akanksha's presentation, and then we will be open to questions. Okay? So.
Okay. So I'm going to introduce Angelica for you. Well, Angelica has a great interpersonal skills, a keen understanding of design context based on visual, cultural, popular trends, and she enjoys collaborative working environments and idea exchanges. She has experience in communication and branding, having worked also with Saatchi in Milan and Unilever in Rotterdam before becoming an entrepreneur. Digitazon.com is a marketplace, as Mariana said, for digital services. She likes to describe it like it works like Amazon, but you buy digital services instead of books. So please welcome everybody. Welcome, Angelica.
Hi everybody.
Welcome.
Hi everybody. Thanks for the invite. Very happy to be here. As Ilaria just said, I'm co-founder and CEO of Digitazon. I won't be long now, so we'll go straight to my presentation so we can see what I'm doing and what Digitazon is. So are you gonna? Okay, perfect. So can you see my screen properly?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the title is how I found myself being a co-founder. Because why this title? Because basically I didn't dream of like starting a startup when I was younger, or at least at the uni. So I've studied marketing management in Bocconi, Milan. I'm 29 now, and my dream was to work in a multinational company such as Unilever, where I've actually worked, or like a big digital advertising agency. So a big company where I can work on different projects, and so that was my dream. But now I'm head of marketing and co-founder of Digitazon, and my commitment is not to actually work in a big company, but is building Digitazon brand and grow together with our community. So let's go straight to the point. Why I choose to be a startup or to launch my own company. Let's go back in 2016, where I was living in the Netherlands, to be specific, in Rotterdam. And this building that you see in the picture is my old office. So it's the Unilever headquarters in Rotterdam, the European one. There, I was in the marketing food team, and my brand was Knorr. I think you all know what the brand is about. So it's about like instant food, soups, stocks, so all these kind of meal preparation, and it's available in different countries, so also in Italy. And there, I was like basically a project manager. So together with my team, we thought about new product or how to innovate present product in the market. And then we thought about the communication, the advertising, how to launch the product, how to connect with our customers. So it was quite a creative job position, but of course always about our brand. And after 3 years, I got a little bit fed up with Knorr and everything about Unilever and with going to the office every morning. And so 5 things push me out of my comfort zone, basically. So in the time spent in Unilever, I had the chance to get new professional skills. So I wasn't a recent graduate anymore, but I had like almost 2 years of experience. I was exposed to a different culture because I was in the Netherlands, so I got a lot of inputs from the people around me, not just Dutch people, but also people from all over Europe, since the office was quite multicultural. And then, of course, I had the chance to meet new people with new ideas. And also, I was far from home, so sometimes I had like free time to fill with something, and of course, a little bit of ambition, which is quite part of myself, I would say. So thanks to these 5 things, basically, and thanks to the other 2 co-founder, which are Andrea up like with the dark blue shirts, and Saverio with the light blue one. Nothing would have happened, of course, because as I said, I'm co-founder, so there are other people with me in Digitazon. So together with these 2 guys, we started working on the draft idea of Digitazon back in the Netherlands. And then we came back to Italy and we got pre-accelerated into Speed Me Up, that was a Bocconi pre-acceleration program in Milan. Of course, we started from a real problem. So the problem basically is that finding a freelancer is hard, and the whole process is really disconnected. So our goal today is letting people finding the right freelancer in less than a day. Keep in mind that usually offline, from understanding that you need support from a freelancer to actually find one and start the project, you need 30 days. So our goal is to stretch this time in less than a day. We are doing this through a digital platform that is basically an e-commerce for digital service. As Ilaria just said, like the simplest example is saying that Digitazon is like Amazon, but you buy digital services instead of books or everything else. There's no commitment between the part, at least not a long-term one. So the buyer doesn't have to hire the freelancer like for 6 months, but just for that service. It's an all-in-one platform. This means that the whole project is run inside the platform, from the research to the payment. And we have a golden rule of satisfied 100%. This means that the buyer needs to be 100% satisfied before we actually complete the payment to the seller. So to sum up, basically, Digitazon is a marketplace for digital services, and we have quite a strong mission. So we are dedicated to improve best creative talents' life, to sustain their creativity, and to support equal work opportunities. But how did we get here? So basically, we follow something that I think all of you know, which is basically the UX design process that basically works with every kind of idea that you try to realize. So it's made up of 5 different phases. The first one is the empathize phase, in which you have to interview your stakeholders. So in our case, like companies, entrepreneurs, startups for the buyer side, and freelance and creative for the seller side. You need to do a competitor analysis to understand what's in the market and like what can you learn from others, and then user research, so understand what's the habits of your users. Then you need to define your concept, so like what's your solution, what's the features of your product, how are you going to realize it, and also defining the user personas, so basically the kind of person that would use your product as early adopters. And then you ideate the product, so basically you, together with a designer, in my case, since I'm not really a designer, you define the customer journey and the user flow. Then you have a prototype in which you prototype the product, and then you test the product on the market. So basically now we keep iterating this process. So we've done all these steps once or maybe already twice, and we are doing the third time because basically I've been a project manager in Unilever, and now I'm a co-founder plus project manager plus product manager, because my goal now are building a product that users love. So we really need to solve the problem of finding a freelancer in the easiest way possible, and we are still optimizing the product market fit. So this means that basically we need to center at the point of being viable, so having a platform, desirable, so really solving a problem both for freelancer and buyer, and actually the product and the feature need to be feasible. So our team need to be able to work on these features. And basically we are trying to fit the solution space and the problem space. So we've done all the base of the pyramid, from in like finding our target consumer, understanding the unserved needs, and then we are always optimizing the UX and the value proposition in order to really have our perfect product market fit. So the process is like this. So it's made up of inspiration, ideation, implementation, but of course it's not that easy. So as I said, you need to iterate the process and trust the process lots of time. And so basically this is what we've done. We added what we call the minimum lovable product instead of minimum viable product, because it needs to be a product that you put on the market and that people can love, meaning that understand what the product is there for. So on the left side, you see what is still online now, which is our platform. And on the right side, you see what we are releasing in a few weeks. So a completely different like graphic design, computer different UX, UI, and it's something we've been working on since like beginning of the summer, maybe before. So from basically, as said, a minimum lovable product to like your final product. Of course, it's not final, but at least you build on that. So my takeaways till today in doing a startup, and particularly this startup which have like a digital product, is like, do not rush into solution space because you need to iterate lots of time. Be really curious about your users' need and motivation, because at the end of the day, you need to solve their problem. Focus on your risk assumption, because usually it's what drives you to the perfect solution. Start building a minimum lovable product, so something that people can actually understand, and then trust the process, because like you need to be patient in a way. So here are my contacts if you want to like know more about Digitazon, or also know more about my experience and what I've been through. And if you have question, or I don't know if we are gonna do the question at the end or now, I'm here happy to answer.
Thank you, Angelica. It was an awesome presentation, and you explained it so well. How does it feel? The the flow, the process.
Yeah, quite. I think it's quite the same for everybody that starts with I don't know, maybe not with all startup, but if you have a digital product, it's more or less this is the story.
Yes, I guess so too.
That's true.
Thanks.
Thank you very
I'm
much,
really,
Angelica.
I'm really curious to hear the other girls' stories because it's more like a physical product, so even drinkable. So I'm really curious.
Yes, it
Yes.
would be nice.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Angelica. So we are going to do the round of questions by the end of the event.
Okay. Cool. Perfect.
Okay. See you soon.
Bye bye. See you later.
So our next guest, she was born in New Delhi, India, and she started off her design quest as an architect. Completing her master's in product service system design at Politecnico di Milano, Italy, she discovered the service design world. And now she's currently working as a UX and service designer at Tangity, NTD Data in Milan, Italy. And in addition, brewing her own beer startup, Ibrida. Ibrida is a neighborhood beer brewed from the surplus bread unsold in the local bakeries in Milan. So we would like to give welcome to Akanksha. Hello, Akanksha.
Hi.
We're very happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I will share your presentation. Feel free to start.
Okay.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting us here. So, hi everyone. I am Akanksha. Like Mariana already mentioned, I am from India, but I'm currently based in Milan. As in the beginning of the event, Mariana and Ilaria mentioned that for accessibility reasons, we're also describing ourselves physically. So I'm Indian. I'm 1.7 meter tall. I have black hair, slim body type, and I'm currently talking to you from my bedroom thanks to COVID. So anyway, I started off as an architect, then a service designer, and now one of the co-founders of Ibrida. And this is my wonderful team. So apart from me, Francesca, Elisa, and Simone. So all of us, we met at Politecnico di Milano, where we discovered this design mindset, a design outlook to everyday life and everyday things. And as you would have noticed, actually 3 out of 4 of the co-founders are women. So we're really proud that we could actually use this stage to share our story. But I'm guessing you're all curious exactly what is Ibrida. So as it has already been mentioned, Ibrida is an artisanal beer. But what makes it so special then? Let's watch this video to find out.
Hi, I'm a beer. I'm sure you drink beer with your friends. What about my friends? Have you ever wondered? You're from my local neighbourhood. Let me introduce them. Malt, my soul. Hops, my spice. Yeast, my spirit. And then there is the special one. Bread, my body. I feel like a superhero when I save the surplus bread from going to waste, because this bread is baked with so much love by some of the best bakers in Milan, and I respect them. I respect the products, the story behind them, and the ritual of production. I feel overwhelmed with the passion and the care that goes into making me, and I want to transmit all this positive energy and power to the local community as I seek from them. Oh, but I forgot to introduce myself. I'm not just any beer. I am Ibrida.
Well, I think now you have a glimpse of the project and you know about the secret ingredient that makes our beer so special. bread. Ibrida is made with surplus bread from the bakeries in the city of Milan. So yes, it's a bread beer, but that's not all. Here comes the froth on this beer. It's a neighborhood beer. That means the beer is crafted for and with the growing areas of the city in order to encourage forms of economic and social innovation in the area. So we partner with a network of breweries, bakeries, local producers, community hubs, and social associations who come together to craft the beer of their neighborhood. So focusing on the sustainable development goals, in particular the number 12, which is about responsible consumption and production, Ibrida presents itself as a perfect combination of entrepreneurial and social spirit in order to achieve the following goals. So we would like to reuse surplus bread as much as we can, reinvigorate growing areas of the city, and reimagine opportunities for local businesses. I know it sounds like a lot to do, but let's go back to the start. So where did it all start? Ibrida actually started as a university project in 2018 at Politecnico di Milano, and is now proudly supported by Cariplo Factory, which is a social association which funds projects like Ibrida, and Fondazione Social Venture. They actually played a crucial role in directing us towards a tangible presence in the market. But before we go into the juicy details, here's a fun fact for you. Women invented beer. Yes, that's right. Women's involvement in brewing beer has been documented back to 4,000 years ago in Mesopotamia, and possibly even earlier, as it was seen as another domestic task. Ancient Sumerians even had a goddess of beer called Ninkasi. So here we are, three girls leading a startup about beer. So now that we've established that women can achieve everything, let's talk about how we built this startup. So how we as designers, how we as 4 service designers started building a startup related to beer without having the know-how of beer production. So it's a funny story, and I'm going to take you through the stages. I mean, Angelica already mentioned, let's say, the theoretical approach of service design or UX design. But what we're going to talk about are some key skills or key superpowers that as designers we possess. So we as designers, we have an innate superpower to adapt, empathize, be jack of all trades, and look for strategies for our products or services. These abilities can help us drive ideas to projects and finally to startups with an unconventional thinking process. So let's go with the first one. Our strongest suit is our ability to adapt. No matter what is the situation, our problem-seeking skills can help define solutions that work. Just how design consultancies adapt to the type of project they're working on, for example, from banking, energy, hospitality, etc., we as designers assumed the role of beer specialists. Of course, it took a lot of research, experimentation, interviewing experts, drinkers, visiting brewing labs, and drinking a lot of beer. Well, some early collaborations with home brewers, brewing a batch of beer with them, and eventually partnering with large-scale breweries and redefining the process and the recipe made us confident enough to enter the beer world. We were like excited kids when we saw our idea brewing and flowing inside a bottle. So if you've never actually seen a beer being brewed, here's your lucky chance. The second one, as a designer, we have a deeper understanding of user needs. We can empathize with our target, our partners, our community. Not only that, we seem to have a magic toolbox to go from empathy, research, concepting, prototyping, validation, and eventually providing a proof of concept. So back in the university, we used this magic toolbox to slowly build the idea of Ibrida and test it with different stakeholders. Just to give you the flavor of the divergent and convergent process that actually Angelica talked about before, we'll take you through some real prototypes and research sessions. So the first prototype that we organized was with professional actors. Yes, you heard it right, actors. It was a pretty unconventional methodology, but these actors were improvising possible interactions with our product.
I think we lost Akanksha for a second. Let's see. So I have tried Ibrida in a event that they hosted at Mikoni a few weeks before, and it was super nice. Let's wait for Akanksha to come back.
I think the idea is really original. And also the fact that it comes from the school and then it went on the real life, it's pretty much stuff. Let's see if Akanksha...
She's connecting back. She will be here in any minute now. Yeah, but as you just said, it's very interesting. Also, the process, like including not only like the basic ingredients, let's say, but also a network of bakeries. I think it's very interesting, very thoughtful. Also because I tried in person, it's amazing. I actually was looking on the map here on their website to see where I can find another beer, because I had there at the bar when they host their event, and then again I brought another one. Hey, Akanksha.
Hi, can you? I don't know what happened. When did you lose me?
It was on the second point that you were explaining after adapt.
Okay, so sorry. I don't know what happened, but just shut off.
You were just like freeze and then you fell. So fine, no problem. But I was commenting, I was saying to Ilaria that I had the opportunity of trying a Ibrida beer a few weeks ago, and it was amazing. And I was looking on the map to see other locations where I can find the beer again. So feel free to see. Yeah. Also, Katarina is saying that you stop on the part of the actors, the video of the actors.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. So I'll start from there again.
Okay.
Thank you. So I'm really sorry. I don't know what happened with the connection, but okay. I was talking about this. The first prototype that we organized was with professional actors. I mean, because we actually wanted to test this pretty unconventional methodology where these actors were playing around with possible interactions with our product without knowing the details of the project. So the goal of this session was to discover unpredictable reactions from the customers and understand the first reaction of the audience. Then, to test the idea again, but in a different scenario, we actually set up a fake beer lab with taste.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. Maybe we can try to check it again.
I think it's a connection.
Yeah.
Maybe if she tried without the presentation in sharing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will tell her to share with us.
Okay. Since we have to wait just a few minutes, I would like to thanks everyone who's watching us and all the comments that you are sharing. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate your presence, and also write us where you're watching us from. We are really curious. I saw at the beginning we have someone from New York, so which is quite far, and many more. So I would like just to say thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. This happens when we do live.
Yeah, the magic of the live. We also have some questions already. I don't know. We would wait to the end of Akanksha speech, but if it takes a little bit more, maybe we can start selecting picking some questions. Then we have.
Yes, there is. Akanksha is back.
Okay.
Hello.
Wi-Fi problems. Okay.
I have no idea what's happening. I'm so sorry. It's happening for the first time that my laptop is basically shutting off on its own.
Oh, no problem. Maybe
if you want to share your presentation with us, we can open here. I think maybe it would help.
Okay. I'm so sorry to everybody who's watching. And
no, don't worry, it happens. It's part of the doing live videos. Also, I think StreamYard itself is not super light program. Like, it's not a program, it's on the browser. But like, for example, today, I changed my browser because in the previous one, I was like speaking like this, like the image was super slow.
Yes. No, mine too usually has some kind of problem. So it happens. No problem. I don't think that someone will be too much disappointed. Oops.
I'm sending it to your email. I'm sharing with you a Drive link.
Okay.
Can you let me know if you access it? It's a keynote file.
Yes, I have the mail open here.
We have support. No worries. Someone said. Katarina says.
Thanks.
Yes. Thank you for the support.
Okay, received.
Luisa also. Thank you, Luisa.
Wait a minute. I'm opening the presentation now.
Perfect. It's slide number 23, 25, maybe 25.
Okay.
I will just tell you next, so you can change the slides.
In the meanwhile, we are collecting some questions for you girls. So keep.
Do you want to do it? Wait. Wait a bit. You can go for the questions, but
Okay. I picked the one for Akanksha directly. It's from Katarina. So, what are you doing exactly as a digital strategist?
Thanks, Katerina, for the question. And actually, it's a very good question. And I actually had to remove this part from the presentation, but it's good that you asked it. So I mean, it's funny how beer is really not as analog as we think it is. It is a very digital product. I mean, it is for sure a physical product, but there is a whole digital ecosystem that exists around this product. So whether it's from the social media to, let's say, how do we approach our possible partners, how do we reach our audience, how do we establish how we're communicating through our website, all of this basically adds to the component of the digital ecosystem around the beer, and it's as, if not more, but it's as important as the beer itself. So you would like, I mean, now that, let's say, we have the physical product in place, all of our energy and all of our time actually goes in supporting it digitally, to making sure we're reaching the right people with the right content, with the right message. So that's what I would describe the role as.
Thank you, Akanksha. Oh, Katarina was satisfied with your answer, but I think yes, because I really understand what you're talking about. It's quite it's a word beside the product itself. So it's super correct what you said, and it's a lot of stuff also to take care of.
Okay, perfect. I can see the presentation again.
I have the presentation here, but I couldn't share the audio. I don't know if you have other.
No, we don't have another audio. So perfect.
Okay, perfect.
So you can go to 25. You can just press twice.
Yes, one minute. I will remove myself from here.
Okay, I'm extremely sorry for all the mess that has been. So this is the second prototype actually when I started to explain. So basically here we actually set up a fake beer lab with this tasting experience and this exposition of ingredients in order to engage a very different target. Here the goal was to test the approach of people, their purchase process towards a fake bread beer. So we were actually just saying, okay, do you know this beer is made of waste and it's from bread that has been unused for several days and so on. So we were just trying to get their reactions to this story and just trying to sell. If we're telling them, okay, this is the bread beer, how would they react to it? Because I mean, we were not in production then, but we were just trying with a Heineken. Actually, it's a secret. So anyway, the next one. So this was another prototype where we really got our hands in the project, and it was a collaboration with Coltivando, which is actually the community garden at Politecnico di Milano. So we produced a special beer with the hops produced by this particular community garden. So we went into the field, we interacted with the community of the gardeners, collected hops with them, and made an event with Milano Green Week with the special beer produced. So it was a very fulfilling experience to actually test a local producer's reaction on a product like our beer and to question our role as designers. Next slide. Of course, I can understand that such rigorous prototyping might not always be possible for every project. Of course, being a part of the university curriculum gave us the tools and time to actually make it happen. But what I can tell you from this experience is fail fast and learn faster. Yes, with each prototype, we tweaked the idea of Ibrida to get where we are today. Next slide. So this brings us to the next segment of this talk. As you would have noticed, these prototypes, a designer is not somebody who's just sitting in their fancy office, but he or she really has to be directly involved with the user, the partners, the collaborators, and every stakeholder involved. So building a community around a product as simple as beer could still be quite challenging. We need the right message, the right content, and right beer to make a difference. So Ibrida needs to be social, of course, just by the virtue of being a beer. But next slide, we wanted to push the limits of this social identity towards initiatives that were aimed at activating and involving the community. So thus begins our journey as not just as designers, but as storytellers, content creators, and marketing specialists. So at this stage of the project, when nobody knows about us, our story, our physical participation makes a huge difference. Next slide. So we soon realized our capability of selling the story of Ibrida before the product itself. Next slide. To our surprise, Riviera, a creative hub in Milan, collaborated with us for several events, workshops, exhibitions, and networking events. Next slide. We were basically the beer provider for a very long-term collaboration, as they really appreciated the values and the vision behind the product and its visual identity. It was a perfect message for us that our brand identity and storytelling was strong enough to convince two extremely creative architects working in the digital realm to buy our product. Next slide. And in the last few months, we collaborated with a lot of different realities, such as Plug and Play Italy, an innovation platform where we provided beers for their winter summit, Cascina Cucania for their Christmas market, the launch event of Ibrida for Bovisa, which was actually our first beer at our brewery partner's location, and Service Design Drinks Milan, who actually chose our project to represent their native culture services for our deep-rooted attention to community and design. And that was actually our last live event because it was this February. And next slide. And Forbes Italy, who not only featured us in their March 2020 edition, but also recorded a video interview with us. Next slide. So with all of these different platforms, we were not only honing our communication skills, but we were also playing the roles of marketing specialists, public relations, content creators, and communication managers. Okay, these titles might seem a bit too professional, but that's what you got to do. Next slide. You have to be the jack of all trades. And luckily, design as a discipline can blur these boundaries and shape us into playing all of these roles. Next slide. So, okay, production, communication, that can still work. But what about business decisions? So, of course, next slide. We do not have the same business acumen as that of a real professional, but what we can do is design strategies. Next slide. So for us, beer is a means to build connections and meet different realities while keeping common values and vision. This approach allows us to coexist and grow along with our network. Next slide. All the collaborations we made, we were constantly taking into account our end user and the market we wish to operate in. Of course, as any other startup, we wanted to be unique in the market, make our own little brand identity and a small spot in the market. Next slide. So the trends were clear. A lot of Italians are drinking beer. Consumption is high, while bread is becoming more and more important. Bakeries and Navan labs are investing a lot of attention to the quality of their bread. Wasting this bread would be a pity, and giving it a second life in the form of a beer could be a win-win model. Next slide. So all of these strategic partnerships helped us to scale from a small home-brewed beer to a large-scale production. A local beer with high-quality ingredients and a strong sustainability approach made our product also competitive in the market. But Ibrida is not the only bread beer. Next slide. So how do we stand out? Next slide. The project stands out for its promise to be a means of social aggregation, community activation, and neighborhood involvement. Yes, that's why Ibrida is not just a bread beer, but a neighborhood bread beer. Just to quote some proof of concept moments, next slide. For Ibrida for neighborhoods, Bovisa edition, which was our first beer, Ibrida collaborated with 5 local bakeries in the neighborhood to procure surplus bread and a local brewery in the same neighborhood for the production of the beer. So the label of the beer was also been designed in a way to push on the partners and the neighborhoods involved. Next slide. And for our newest limited edition, we partnered with Panificio Davide Longoni, which is actually one of the best bakeries in Milan. We realized a beer for the Chiaravalle neighborhood. So this bread was rye bread, and the grains were being cultivated in the farms of Chiaravalle. So what we wanted to do was push on this partnership and the neighborhood Chiaravalle. Next slide. So what we're talking about is a project with a very strong focus on social innovation. Ibrida leveraged on the synergistic collaboration with a network of partners, breweries, bakeries, local producers, community hubs, social associations, and places who came together to produce their bread beer and spread this sustainable vision. Next slide. But it's not always the USP of the product itself. It's also the USP of the creator, in this case, the designer. Next slide. Yes, we put ourselves on the front line, sharing our expertise, skills, and competences with our clients and partners. So today we had a great opportunity to share and tell you what we've discovered in the past 2 years. Next slide. How we built this design-led startup, how we actually realized the power of this design mindset and the effect that this approach can provide to a tangible everyday product. So next slide. So that's all from Team Ibrida, and we would like to leave you with a thought. You only need the right beer to make a difference. Next slide. So thank you for listening. We are very happy to be a part of this female-led community. Before we go into the Q&A, I would like to ask you 2 questions. So if you can, please answer me in the comments. Next slide. So my question would be, what's your big takeaway from this talk, or what would you have rather done differently, except for the laptop and the internet issues? So about the beer. Anyway, thank you so much, and thank you for your patience to keep up with the technological issues. Thank you again.
So it was worth it, really. Thanks a lot for your speech and your presentation. You guys did a great job. This Ibrida, it's really a nice project, but it's also more than just a beer. You share a lot of this issue, this topic, and it feels it. So thanks.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I loved it, Akanksha, really. Not only because I tried, let's say again, let's repeat, I tried the beer, but also as a service designer myself, seeing this kind of like innovation, helping the bakeries in the neighborhood, also thinking about what you waste in the bakeries. I think it's very, very interesting and also brings a lot of value to your product.
Thank you so much. And by the way, that's proof that we're just not a story, but also a product, because Mariana has tried it.
Yes, it's amazing. Okay, so we are going to bring Angelica again. Actually, we prepared some questions for you guys, and then please, who are watching us, please write the questions so they can answer. Okay, if you have any questions.
Okay, I'm gonna go first. My question, it's easy, I guess, so don't be scared. So I would like to know, you said something in your personal speeches already, but I would like to ask you more directly, what was your inspiration to start both your businesses?
Scusate.
No
Scusate.
problem. Magic of the live, we said before. So
Should I go? What then? Should I answer the question?
who wanna go first?
Yeah,
I can.
go first. I was distracted for a moment, so it's better if you go first.
So I would say that I never imagined that I would move from India to Italy and open a beer startup. Of course, that was never the plan. So I mean, I think like for us at least, things happened in the right moment, and we were talking like we were sort of building Ibrida back in the university, but it already got way too real way too soon. So we just decided, okay, let's give it a try. Oh, what do we have to lose? Nothing. So we were all four friends, and we were all service designers. So we knew, let's say, how we worked, and we actually complemented each other's skills. So that was actually the perfect background to start something that is like a project, but you can actually take it forward. So I would say that there was never this plan to take Ibrida to what it is now, but I think you should just stick to and go with the flow, and that's how that's how it worked for us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think same for us. So it was, as said in the beginning of my story, basically it was not in the plan. But thanks to the experience we gather in Rotterdam, and thanks to having met each other also, we had the chance to think about the project and start working on it even before leaving actually our job. So yeah, was not in the plan, but it happened.
Best things happen.
Nice.
Not in the plan. If not in the plan,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice. Can I go for the second question? So, what were your expectations on building your businesses, and is it how you imagine it?
Should I go first?
As you want.
So actually, I think it's almost as I imagine it. So basically, everybody tells you that it's not easy, that it's gonna be up and down. Then when you get satisfaction, it's really big, but then it's really bad when something goes wrong. And that's the truth. So the truth, because it's like being in love. So the feelings are like amplified, and it's like going to work and run a good project, but 10 times more, because it's completely depends on you. So I think it's really satisfying from a certain point of view. It can be really stressful, of course, because there are some moments in the company's life that like demands a lot, also like mentally. But I will never go back, so I'm really happy about my choice.
That's important.
So for me, I would say that like I feel like Ibrida is still in a constant evolution phase. So I wouldn't say that, okay, this is it. This is what Ibrida looks now, and this is what Ibrida is now, and it will be like that. I don't think so. I think it's something that's constantly changing, constantly evolving. So I'm really happy that that is the case, because we're still quite young. Like like I'm 26 years old. The others are like 25 years old, and we have a lot to offer to Ibrida and gain from Ibrida. So I think every day is a new challenge. Every day when we face, let's say, a new partner, or a new retailer, or a new distributor, or I don't know, a new client, everything for us is the first time, and that's what makes it so exciting. And I think no two projects have ever been the same. So now we have. Let's say we have 3 beers already, and actually we're in the production for the fourth, which is actually a big reveal. But I would say that none of these projects have been the same. So I really like the fact that we're always on the move.
Okay. Thank you, Akanksha. Thank you both. I have another question for you. Well, how did you know that you had the right idea? I mean, probably you went through many different kind of inspiration, ideas. Maybe this one is okay, no, it's not okay. How did you know that that one was really, really the one?
So I go this time. So, like I already talked about it, and I actually already showed you how we were constantly changing the idea of Ibrida. So it was, I think it was probably like the sixth or seventh idea where we said, okay, I think this works. And the validation we got, because it was still quite early and we were still a part of the university. But as a part of the university, the final, let's say, exam, the final video presentation was supposed to be a live event. So we were supposed to go and find partners and do a live event. And all through the semester, we were saying, okay, we want to partner with Pave, which is a very nice bakery in Milan, most of you know. And we were constantly talking about that. And in the end, we actually managed. We had our event at Pave. And that was something completely like, oh my God, this just got real. And we were like, our social media was already starting to pick up, and we just didn't expect it at that point. So that was our first, let's say, validation. And then 3 months later, we applied for this call where it was about startups from like Cariclo and Fondazione Social Venture. And we were just applying because, okay, why not? And four of us, like the four co-founders, so I was in Berlin. Elisa was in Australia for the Erasmus. Simone was in Netherlands for the Erasmus. Francesca was in Turin. So nobody was in Milan. But we still applied. And we actually won. And we were like, oh my God, now what do we do? Nobody is in Milan. And we actually won the call. So that was our, let's say, until now, I would say that was our biggest validation. And that's what keeps us going. That back then, we won the call. We could manage to start a startup being in 4 different countries. So that's what I think keeps me going, at least.
Thank you.
For me, I mean, as you said, you keep like working on your idea, so you never know if it's really the right one. Also, actually, we started with a slightly different one, which we are keep working on, and we are merging the two. So basically, in the beginning, we were our startup. It's called Doing, actually, with the U, and then Digitazon came. And now we are putting the two together under the brand of Digitazon. So the first one was more a connection between always talents and companies, but not like freelancer, but students. And it was more about challenges. So basically, companies can launch a challenge and students can apply. And then we basically added the Digitazon part, but now it's like the core business because it's more scalable. So basically, for Doing, for example, we knew the idea was great because it's great actually because we are able to work like with super big companies. For example, we work with Coca-Cola, with Amplifon, with KPMG or others. But on the other side, it's not really scalable, so it's difficult to like become big basically as a company. While the marketplace, it's more manageable on this side. But the target is different, so it's not for really, really big companies, but more for small, medium enterprises and like startup. So as said, you never know which is the perfect idea, but you keep like optimizing also according to what happens around you and what happens to with your client and with your users. So I think it's impossible to stay steady basically.
I guess so. It's impossible today to be steady everywhere, I guess. Thanks a lot, girls. Mariana, I think has another question.
Yes, I have the next question. So, what are some of the mistakes that you wished you could have avoided?
For me, it's a simple one. I wish I drank more beer before, so I would have been more. I would have known more.
For me, do you have another piece of the answer, or okay? For me, it's a lot about the people you work with. So, I mean, my co-founder are like, yeah, the best people on earth, and we are super happy as a team. But sometimes, I mean, we had different people like in the team as external. So, for example, internship, people doing internship, and something that I need to change right now is like being able to work with a new person and teach somebody how to do stuff. So basically, like the kind of relationship that you are able to build with a person in the team, which was not there since the beginning. So basically, being able to pick the right person for your team and for your personality, and then also being able to make the team grow in the right way. So for sure, but this is something that nobody teach you, so you really need to try and learn, because it's impossible to know it before.
Yes.
Yes, learn by doing.
Yeah.
Doing.
Doing.
I have last question, and then we let the audience make some question by their own. So, if you have to describe your the role you play today with an adjective, which one would you use?
The role?
Yeah, the role you play in your business.
I would use the sentence that Akanksha used in the slide, Jax. I don't know how to. I don't remember. Yeah, I mean, I think you need to be very. Yeah, like tutto fare.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, you need to be very flexible, I think, since at least when you still are small as a team and as a business, you really need to okay, I'm not able to do this, but let's do it because we need it. So yeah, I would say flexible.
Mm-hmm. For me, I would say something that we also identify with Ibrida as a brand. So we like to call Ibrida a social aggregator, because we believe that we are not just a beer, but we're putting together a large part of the community. We're bringing together a lot of partners, and we're providing something which is a social product. So I feel like as a designer also, you need to play that role. You need to be the connector. You need to be the aggregator of various ideas, various people, various communities. So I would say I would identify myself with, let's say, a connector or aggregator as an object.
Great. Actually, I think that they're great for the two different realities that you are representing today.
Yes, very nice words. I see some questions here, and then I will start to select. Okay, question from Katarina to Angelica. What is doing differently than other headhunters, matchmakers?
So as said before, doing is like not really headhunters, because we are connectors. So we enable companies to have a digital presence on our platform in a way that's easy for young people, so for young talents to understand them, to understand the working environment, to understand the job positions, and then they have the chance basically to participate in the challenge launched, so they can build on their CV. They can understand how the company works. They can put experience on their CV even before graduation, and then they also can find a job, because some of the challenges are like recruiting challenges. So the goal is to basically get an interview. So basically, this is what doing is doing.
Nice. I don't remember if
Yes.
Akanksha has.
I
Yes,
answered.
she replied. She
Okay,
answered.
because I was with the presentation. Okay, next one.
This one from Shelisaveta, sorry for if my pronunciation is not correct, Obradovic. She said, I love the concept of the strategy, and I'm curious how much of user experience is a priority of Ibrida at this stage.
Okay, and I also see I see this comment also.
Meaning, what type of content do you put in front of the potential buyer, for example? What do you prioritize on Ibrida website?
So actually, it's a very, very nice question. By the way, hi Ellie, thanks for coming. And so when if you I would urge all of you to actually open the Ibrida website. So it's ibridabira.com. And if you open the website, it's very different from a beer brand website, because the first thing you see is about the story of the beer that I was telling you about in the presentation, that we always try to sell the story before the beer itself, because the point is not just the beer, but the point is that mindset where we can actually influence people to have this conscious mindset where they're thinking about sustainability, where they're thinking about reusing resources. So even if you look at our branding, for example, this is the label. I mean, it's white. It's like, this is all the color that you have, and everything that you can read on the label is basically like the story of the neighborhood, the story of the bakery, the story of Ibrida. So as you can see, every time we try to push that first. We try to talk about why are we developing this product. It's not eventually to get people drunk, because that's not the message we're trying to send out with a beer. So yeah, I hope I answered the question.
Thank you. Oh, she added. Your stories are very inspirational. Both startups are very unique and wonderful for individuals and for communities. I agree.
I agree too.
Thanks, Eli. Katerina answered my question.
You said more than a beer. Maybe that's the key of success. That's true. I don't know if you guys have some other questions while who's watching us. Please don't be shy and let us know.
I have a question actually for Akanksha, because it started like a university project, right?
Yeah.
And then you put like it's a startup question, so it's about like also the economies. But so you basically get funded by the university, or you also invest your own money?
No, we didn't get funds from the university. So
okay,
we developed it in the university because it was our let's say final this project.
Okay.
So that's the role of the university. But funds, nothing. We're just surviving, I would say.
Okay.
Nice. I also would add the on the description the websites of their startups. If you don't have any more questions, you can also get in contact with them afterwards, and then I think that's it.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. I hope next time we do another event will be in person.
Yeah.
And then we can all meet in person as well. Thank you, Angelica, and thank you, Akanksha, for joining us today. It was really nice to hear your experience, and I hope you're gonna keep the success going. Thank you very much.
Thank you everybody for listening to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye everyone. Thank you for watching.
Bye bye.